Have you been able to play Helldivers? I haven't. These gosh darn servers have been inflating my playtime, making me look like Balloon Solid Snake. In the countless hours I've had to sit down waiting to get into the game itself so far, I've wondered and pondered about the lore of the universe of Helldivers. So I took some time to research it, to explain the lore of Helldivers to me and my friends, because this game has really captured the hearts and minds of a bunch of people as of late. Heck, I might even do a full review if the problems with the servers persist, and this video does good enough, wink wink. So before we get fully into it, here's a little thing to preface the entirety of the storytelling in this game. If you're a wimp, the entirety of the lore is knee-deep in cynicism, as well as parody and satire, mainly because the game takes a lot of cues from the classic movie Starship Troopers, where if you pay attention, the humans are actually the bad guys, and their own self-governing has caused most of their downfalls, while one controlling government spouts off propaganda about everything being fine, while all normal, less fortunate people are shipped off to fight in wars that they never should have been a part of in the first place. But that interpretation is for people who don't believe in the raw universal power of democracy. Take everything as 100% true. It's much better for you that way. True Helldiver is more worried about liberating the galaxy instead of such idiotic conspiracies. So in this video, we're going to be going over most of the general lore just to let you know what everything's about, who's who. Just one more thing before we really get into it. The lore from Helldivers 1 and 2 is all lore given to us piecemeal through some press releases, in-game bestiaries, and news from the Helldivers 2 TV, which are all given as in-universe press briefings and information given out by the glorious Super Earth itself for our perusal. Some information comes through the leaks of schisming groups in humanity, with it all being dismissed as nothing but ramblings of madmen that criticize the world government of Super Earth, because they know much more about warfare and the universe in general, like raining artillery upon ignorant savages, like the boomers from Fallout New Vegas divined. So take everything with a grain of salt and know that if anybody's saying more stuff about this topic, they might have done more research than me, but also they could be filling in the gaps with their own interpretations of stuff, which is always possible. In Helldivers 2, the year is 2184. For the past 100 years, humanity has been chilling out since the first galactic conflict. That was in 2084. In the time between then and current day, humanity has gone over some restructuring, with Super Earth becoming super democratic, spreading their belief throughout the galaxy. This happened because at the end of the first galactic conflict, they got access to faster-than-light technology, being able to move from one side of the galaxy to the other really fast. All enemies that were fighting against Super Earth were gone for a long time, but some of them are starting to come back. Super Earth is the name of the centralized human government in this universe, and it's kind of like Ultra Super Space America, having presidents and elected officials and a giant army. Because of faster-than-light travel, they worry a lot more about fuel now, which comes from the insides of creatures that they were previously fighting, being domesticated for a little bit, when suddenly the enemies of humanity rose up and the Helldiver program needed to be used again to save the galaxy from any alien threats. So Helldivers. Helldivers are specially trained people that are drafted from the normal army to help destroy and disrupt any enemy to Super Earth. They're only called upon at the most dire of times and usually stockpiled in cryogenic tubes so they can have a large surplus of them whenever they are needed. These Helldivers go in elite small groups, no bigger than 4, onto worlds and drop pods to go and clean up a portion of the surface of the planet. Once they've done everything they can for Super Earth, they're picked up by troop transport and get the hell out of Dodge. This is also the greater Super Earth military can mow through everything once the Helldivers are done with it. They do stuff like destroy outposts, gain geological data, destroy illegal broadcasts for the glory of Super Earth, and maybe they'll be able to mow lawns for some of the planets closer to Super Earth. Who knows? I hope they do, though. That grass cutting minigame would go crazy. They were originally made during 2084, when this first war happened. And now they're back, in the biggest deployment seen since then. So, onto the enemies. There are 2 enemy factions in the game right now that Super Earth have to deal with. There's a lot more background to them now, besides the fact that they are aliens or another threat to humanity. This is because a lot has changed in the galaxy due to their arrival after the Helldivers 1, with every enemy coming back for one reason or another. The Zergs, Terminids, the Arachnids from Starship Troopers, the Terminids, are the bugs from outer space that are all about growing larger and bigger and spreading across the stars. Just like a certain other race of creatures that like spreading across the stars. But these ones will touch you. They are freaky. And by freaky, I mean they are creatures evolved over eons to be perfect killing machines that can survive in any and all environments to spread their buggy dominance. They also eat stuff into terraforming planets if they're on them for long enough. You can really see this in their hives. These things 100 years ago were beaten to the brink of extinction and were almost completely wiped out by humanity. Until it was found out that the Terminids somehow hold the fuel needed for humanity to have faster than light technology fueled. That allowed Super Earth to colonize the rest of the galaxy. So instead, they were industrially farmed on distant worlds, but that wasn't enough. Instead, they started genetically modifying them to be even larger. They broke out of the farms, ate the farmers, ate everybody, and then moved on to spreading across the galaxy again. From what we can tell, most of this is done through small species of biological matter called spores that can travel from planet to planet, that allow these bugs who haven't even found out what space travel is to spread out and make their way to different planets. Also, the stupid dumb conspiracy theorist part of my mind says that the initial outbreak of the Terminids was letting some of the Super Earth civilians sacrifice their life for democracy and fuel. But then the outbreak got and the Helldivers need to be called in to mop up the mess. But that's only a possibility if you're a dummy head. Super Earth can never do anything wrong. Talking about crackpot conspiracy theorists, the cyborgs, or now the Automatons. There were some humans way back that decided to go and rebel from Super Earth because the populace is brainwashed and the government oppressed everyone. Only spreading their control through military campaigns like the ones the Helldivers go through. Oh, what idiots. And to combat Super Earth, they decided to lose their humanity and turn themselves into cyborgs. They were still pretty heavily augmented 100 years ago, but now they're just mostly metal. Because when the time when they were beaten back during the events of the first game, they kind of disappeared into the fringes of the unknown galaxy at the time. So when they came back, it's probably the reason that they're death robots now. But most people don't really remember the cyborgs, probably because Super Earth excluded them from the annals of history, never to be heard from again. And now their only proof of their previous humanity is the skulls that they have on their heads, with red, evil, death robot eyes piercing through them. And now they use lasers and rockets and are Terminator stand-ins. That's what you get for rebelling against Super Earth, you idiots. That's all there is in this game for right now, but I feel like we should also cover the last faction that was in Helldivers 1 that isn't in Helldivers 2 yet, the Illuminates. On the outside, these aliens seem like they were angelic, but that's what they want you to think. Nah, dude, according to Super Earth, they were making WMDs. Thank goodness we dealt with them and their weapons and obliterated them, taking their faster than light technology and probably taking some cues from their personal shielding. I think these cowardly aliens got fought a little bit and then turned tail because they actually don't know how to fight. Maybe if they do come back, maybe they should come back prepared for a fight, being heavily militarized this time, huh? So that's the basics of the Helldivers lore and some of what we know about the events in the galaxy for Helldivers. I hope this video wets your whistle and gives you the motivation to dive headfirst into the world of Helldivers, if you like it, and if you can get in the first place. See you out there, Pookies. Till next video, fellas.